Can you give me an example of some adaptive sports you participate in?
So I like to ski, and the way that works with my vision is I have a trained guide that's in front of me. I wear an orange bib that says blind skier, and she wears a blind guide bib, and we use two-way continuous radios so that we can communicate with each other. She can tell me about different obstacles at different locations as we're skiing. That includes a lot of things like chairlift poles, other skiers, trees, and so forth, or significant changes in terrain. And I constantly communicate back with her. So it's kind of like pilot, air traffic controller communication. And then also, if there are other volunteers available that are not trained guides, but they will ski alongside of both of us, more just to keep other people sort of at a distance so that they don't get into our way. And that works very well.
What are some positive experiences you've had with event volunteers?
I would say, in general, the most positive experience is when the volunteer talks to you and asks you if there's anything that you might need that isn't being met. Good example sometimes is an attentive volunteer. If I'm at a buffet, for instance, they serve lunch at the event, or we take a break for lunch. It's very difficult for someone with low vision to navigate to the cafeteria, know what's available to eat, or to a buffet to know what's to eat, and telling you what's there, and is there anything that you need that would be helpful.
What about some more awkward experiences?
So awkward experiences are people not understanding how to assist a person with blindness or low vision. When you're in a familiar environment, the person's probably more functional, whereas you get into a newer environment with more different types of obstacles. And obstacles could be not just stairs and furniture, sometimes it's people, sometimes it's the color of the room, the lighting. If I needed to find, say, my way to the other side of the room where the door is, and I say, okay, I need to know where the door is, or I need to go use the bathroom before we get geared up, and they say, well, it's right over there. It's on the other side of the room. That's not a really good way to direct the person. Or I'll get up and say, I need to go use the bathroom, and I'm expecting that the person is going to come in front of me, perhaps, and let me follow them. They come behind you because they think you're disoriented, and they start pushing you. And that's a really scary experience. And the same thing could be happening if you're navigating, say, where there's traffic, and you want to cross the street. A good volunteer would ask, how is there something I can do to assist you? It's like, yes, tell me when the light changes, or tell me that I'm going in the right direction to get across the street, versus coming behind you and trying to push you out into the street. You really got to have a lot of trust in someone if you're letting them push you out into the middle of the street, and if you don't know who they are, or they may not be quite as aware as they should be.
Is there any advice you have for new volunteers?
When it comes to blindness and low vision, I think guiding is pretty important. The best way, or the preferred way often, is holding on to someone's elbow and following them, with or without a white cane in the other hand. But I think the important thing is to ask the person what's the best way. Some won't use a cane, some will. But also what I think is important is if you're guiding someone, realize that you need to give all of your attention to that. You can't get distracted. I know it's easy that if you guide someone and someone else starts talking to you, it's okay to stop, but realize that you've still got that person with you. If someone with low vision or blindness maybe is having trouble getting somewhere, offer to get them, say, grab my elbow, or I'll walk you there. Pointing and saying it's over there, or this is the way you cross the street, and they look confused. The last thing you want to do is like push them into the street or push them in the direction that they want to go. That's just going to kind of freak them out a little bit, especially if it's in traffic or other hazardous areas. Crossing the street can be probably the scariest thing a person has to do that doesn't see well.